that was one of the advantages I had going to Italy. There are lots of fabulous frescoes. I mean, all over. The churches, the palaces, and all that. So already this monumentality was very, very striking, because we're used to paintings, at least at that period. We could not afford walls, or we could not afford big canvases. So that to me was, really mind-blowing. I thought I would be in Europe just 1 year, because that's what my parents said. Okay, you go to Europe, but please come back, and this and that. So it went on for 50 years, that every year I was coming back, for 52 probably. So I went to Paris because the School of Fine Arts in Rome just bored me a little bit, and I said, the city is beautiful, it's a museum, but there's a time when I have to go and really face more contemporary ideas and more. So I went and got into the academic side of things. Luckily, they accepted me in the school, this academy, but then also I got a bit bored with what they were teaching academically again. So I was looking for something, and luckily there was a fresco studio in the school, because you need a lot of space and a lot of this. So I went there, and the professor was very kind, and he accepted me in his class. And well, I started there, and I just found it fabulous. And it was totally a different approach, again, from what you do with an easel and a thing you can carry around. Then there are other considerations, which were, of course, scale. Of course, you can make smaller frescoes too, but generally it's for monumental things. Now, that is one of the things I tell my younger people, or those who are trying to learn how to paint, is that you don't move exactly the same way at each level of, should we say, magnitude or smallness. Okay, if you are painting a small thing with a fine brush, you move this, right? If you are painting a bigger surface with a bigger brush, you do this. And if it's a bigger one, you do with your elbow. See? And if it's bigger, then it's your arm, or bigger still, is you're swinging your whole body with it. You cannot, with a little small brush, go, oh my God, it's ridiculous. It will look awful. It becomes repetitious, because the hand is repetitious. That's the problem with it. Or you fight that monotony of strokes. So that also is a very wonderful lesson for the theater and for other big projects. Well, yes, this was no doubt influenced by all the crucifixions and all these things I'd seen in frescoes, no doubt. The style is not fresco yet. It's still easel painting. At that size, you don't have any of the problems of really making something 3 times or 4 times your own size. So that represents a lot of problems of perspective and all kinds. Fine. So here is Judas hanging. That's why the feet are so prominent, to show they're not standing on ground. And here's his bag of money that he had received. I don't know how much it was. And so the professor liked it and said, I was still in my, should we call, the expressionistic thing, the human factor thing. So very much into that. So, and then slowly it went, when of course, this was transferred on to my etchings and drawings, like that.
So the first time I met him, I remember I was about 11 years old, and my father introduced him to me, that he's a painter. Of course, being a child, all I did was got a piece of paper and a ball pen and say, here, draw me something if you're an artist. And he naturally did it. And time went on. And then I met him again when I was much older. When I met him, I pulled out the paper, still in a very good piece, in good condition. I showed it to him, and he was surprised. After which he started telling me about arts and things like that. That attracted me into painting. Of course, it's not only Mr. Sanso who got me into it, but also being able to see my father's warehouse with a lot of different paintings got me curious. And it was Tito Jovi who really opened my eyes, understanding how to look at paintings. Okay, one distinct piece is this one. This was the one that I obliged Mr. Sanso when I first met him, and I have kept it all over all the years. This one is Pegatata, is one of Mr. Sanso's very first few shows done in Makati Commercial Center. I was also still very young, and I remember this piece until when I started collecting, I requested to look for this piece and I found it. Over here are his early works. Well, you can see the Montalban. Here, particular, this one is Tough Avenue with High Alay over there. And you can see his signature over there is still a full name. He didn't call himself Sanso. Here's a particular piece that I'm very amazed with. He calls it a painting in front of a painting. If you really look at it carefully, it's a piece of a subject in front of one of his painting. I'm still looking for that painting. Now, this one is, I just got very attracted with this one because just the look on it, you feel very cold already. This was taken in Paris, and then some of his other early works, as you can see, it started brightening up already. This one also is particularly interesting because Tito Jovi had his first snow and he was out there painting. I could just imagine he was shivering while doing the painting. And as I was saying, these are, as you can see, the paintings start brightening up. You can see Mr. Tito Jovi also doing certain different kind of strokes. There you go again, you can see a different kind of strokes, but these are really some of his paintings that are really coming out. I would always tell people, identifying a painting is not by looking at the signature. Identifying the painting itself should be the signature. It would be always good that when you see it from afar, you know it's a Sanso. People would ask me, Tito Jovi or Mr. Sanso is always painting stones and flowers and things like that. I said, that's his signature, that's him. Okay, so, and you can see until these latest, these are very colorful already and very much alive. That is Sanso. We would normally have our Sunday lunch together. Of course, my father would joke around with him, as my father would say, concentrate on your business while I concentrate mine. Of course, my father is in retail and Mr. Sanso is into painting. So those kind of discussions really did attract my attention. And I did really try to compare Mr. Sanso with my father's life. Both very different person, but both very close to each other. One day I was watching my father doing a speech in graduation, and he called Mall of Asia Complex as the project or his largest project. So when we were doing the convention center, I thought that what could be a better way to really show people the friendship together was asking Mr. Sanso doing his biggest or largest painting in my father's largest project. And naturally, I know Mr. Sanso this year wants to retire, but I do believe I got him out of retirement by convincing him to continue. And I think people can see it from his painting that it's not only just getting him out of retirement, but really having him express his love for art and having him express the friendship that they have together.
Henry C. is behind this project, And I'm very happy that it has happened because it's such a long, wonderful friendship, and I owe him. Really, my first big breakout in Manila. I didn't care that much about my career yet. I wasn't thinking in terms of career, which I don't really do that much anyway. But I didn't even know how things went for careers. I didn't how you planned a career. I still don't know because I've done it all upside down. But anyway, so that was a really great introduction to the public. So this is coming now after this very wonderful friendship, and I hope this friendship will last 100 years more. Okay, but well, let's say 99. Okay.
He has more or less evolved his own personal style. You know? Of course, he's so well traveled. You know? He gets out of the country, goes to Europe, to States. But somehow his what they call it, genre or his body of work, no, are so parang interrelated. No? They're rather consistent. No? Of course, they vary through the years. No? And he's one, I think, who doesn't repeat his work. He keeps on inventing, reinventing.
The first time I saw Sanso, I was really very impressed because he had a show at the Luz Gallery. This is still in Padre Faura, this early 60s, I think. And he came out with a whole exhibition of bouquet, black and white bouquet, which is really his mark in his work and his etchings and early works. It did influence us. Actually, during that time we were copying his style.
As I remember correctly, it was an exhibition of prints, of etchings, intaglios, which actually Sanso was very good at. Because at that point in time, he had been painting like for oils. They were satirical portraits. And then he went largely into printmaking. He actually was able to create a series of very outstanding prints.
The work of Sanso is more on the abstraction, rock formation, sponge formation. You know, these are the things that you can see in the seaside. But form into a different artistic way. The colors, especially the green one, which I use.
He is what they call an example of an artist who is totally dedicated to his craft, which is a very fine example, especially among young artists.
I think his enthusiasm in his own art, his his dedication, and he likes to share also to the students. I think sometimes he gives lectures, and it's very good way to part some of your knowledge to students.
We artists are really, have some sort of connect, whatever it is. There must be something that, that the artists, have really to live by each other's work, see each other's works, and really also get inspired by the other artists who are maybe a little senior from us,
I think he never runs out of imagination, as well as the energy to create. And that's one thing artists should emulate. They should have the capacity to pursue their craft without let up.
That's how it started.